Coming up on Volusia Magazine, we get some Florida gardening hints from the masters, discover a new turtle, and learn important boater safety rules. These stories and more next. Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Tammy King. Volusia County is home to many world-class boating destinations. Fun, relaxation, and beauty are a guarantee, but knowing the safe boating rules and how to operate your vessel is paramount to ensure safety for yourself and everybody on the water. Dave Hunt has the story.
Many of the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic were immediately apparent, such as the impacts on the economy, holidays, travel, events, health, and our social lives. But some of those effects, they weren't so apparent. And when the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary called and said they had seen an uptick in boating injuries and fatalities due to the pandemic, we wanted to know more and help spread the message of boater safety.
My name is Robert Musco, and I'm a public affairs specialist with the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. And joining me today is Andrew Gigi, Rodney Jansen, and Christina Rodriguez. I'd like to give you some statistics. Last year, 836 boating accidents were reported. Out of that, we had 79 fatalities. That was a rise by 14. The leading cause is overboard. People are falling overboard, and we're finding that that's the leading cause of death is drowning. 88% of those people were not wearing a life jacket. We've seen a rise in this due to COVID. More people have gone out and purchased boats. We have about a 36% increase in boating sales during the COVID era. And also, boater education is a very important thing we need to talk about here, because most of those people did not have any boater education.
When you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Boating is a great way to get out in nature, create memories, and enjoy all Volusia County has to offer. But it's not all fun and games.
When you buy a boat and get on the water, you're responsible not only for yourself, but for everybody on your boat and the general public.
That's a lot of responsibility. And the first and most important thing you can do when boarding a vessel is easy and ensures the safety of everybody on board.
Wear your life vest. This protects you, your family. The reason why you wear it is because if you fall into the water, you have it. If you get knocked out, you have it. If you go in to help somebody and save their lives, you have it on. Please remember to always wear your life vest and teach your children to do the same.
Not wearing your life preserver. That's the number one mistake. Why, I don't really understand. Life preservers come in so many different ways, like the one you have on, that's very wearable, very light. If you go in the water, all you have to do is pull the lanyard. There's not really any reason that people should not be wearing a life preserver these days.
Hi, what are you going on a boat today? Okay, you're gonna wear your life vest, okay? Because you're under, how old are you? 4. So everybody under 6 needs to wear a life vest no matter what, okay? So let me buckle this up for you. And then that way you'll be safe. Just in case you fall in the water or something, you can float. It's cool to wear a life jacket.
Life jacket on? Check. But what else can you do to ensure a safe boating experience?
And the most important thing I would recommend to people in Volusia County is we have a lot of shallow water just outside the channels. So stay within the channels, or at least know where the shallow water is so that you can avoid it. So a place that you thought was plenty deep 2 weeks ago may not be very deep now. So I do find myself in shallow water sometimes when I'm not expecting it, just because the bottom has changed.
Just pay attention to your yard signs, your day boards, your channel markers, being aware of your fellow boater, being polite and courteous. That's what it's about, is just given right away. Make sure you have plenty of distance, being friendly, and just enjoying yourself on the water safely. You need to always be cognizant of the weather. Watch the clouds. I'm an amateur astronomer and meteorologist, much like a lot of our folks are. And it's fun keeping an eye on the weather, knowing what's coming in, so that when you get into heavy weather, you don't have to come in and be reckless in these intercoastal waterway, for example.
The rules of the road, we are overtaking them, so we have to stay out of their way. Doesn't matter whether they're a kayak, a paddleboard, or an aircraft carrier. If we're overtaking them, we've got to stay out of their way.
Knowing the safe boating rules and how to operate your vessel on the water is paramount to the safety of avoiding collisions and having just a nice fine day on the water.
Understanding the best safety practices is essential when boating, kayaking, or paddleboarding. It ensures the safety for you and everybody else on the water. The great news is the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary offers boater safety classes for all to enjoy.
During our public education classes, one of the things you'll learn is safe boat handling, how to trailer your boat, how to be safe backing into a ramp, being aware of your marine domain, watching out for how do you safe boat, how do you cross lanes, what color red is where, and when you're red right returning, and all that good stuff. Some navigation points, and just a lot of fun things to learn to keep you safe along with your family and those who boat with you.
In addition to safety, preserving our natural environment is equally as important.
We are blessed to have a variety of waterways here in Volusia County and multiple ways to enjoy them. But remember, wear your life jacket, look out for one another, make sure you're following the best safety practices, and enjoy. Have fun. I'm David Hunt.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
We are Volusia County Beach Safety. We're here to serve Volusia County's 47 miles of unique coastline. You know, Volusia County beaches. Yeah, those beaches. But also these beaches. We have millions of visitors every year, and we work around the clock to keep our beaches safe and beautiful. And you can help.
Swim near a staff lifeguard tower.
Pick up your trash. And fill holes. Identify, avoid, and escape rip currents.
Please leave the beach cleaner than you found it.
There we go. Look out for one another and keep an eye on kids, especially near the traffic lane and in the water.
Pets are allowed at our 2 pet-friendly beaches, Lighthouse Point Park and Smyrna Dunes Park.
If you see something, say something.
A clean and safe beach guarantees fun in the sun for everyone. Thank you for doing your part to keep Volusia County beaches beautiful. See you at the beach!
Make the most of your day at the beach. Download the Volusia County Beaches app today. Sign up for real-time notifications on vehicle ramp openings and closings. Find staffed lifeguard towers. Get updates on tides and beach conditions. Plus, off-beach parking and coastal parks info. Volusia County Beaches app is available for your smart devices at the App Store and Google Play.
There's a new turtle in town, and this one doesn't require any food or water. Pat Hewen is here to tell us more.
I'll bet you've heard of Andy Warhol. He was all the rage in the 1960s when he was a major figure in the pop artist scene. Perhaps you've seen some of his iconic prints, which include this famous silkscreen painting of Campbell's soup cans. Warhol also garnered loads of attention for this image of the late, great Marilyn Monroe. Warhol, who was well known for his offbeat personality and unusual hairdo, was a successful magazine and advertising illustrator. He was also a fixture at parties and other celebrity clubs. Now, 25 years after his death, Andy Warhol is making a big splash in Ponce Inlet, thanks to a generous donation by a local art lover.
Yippee!
Jim Benedict, who also knows a thing or two about advertising, has donated Andy Warhol's fabulous Turtle 360A to the Marine Science Center, and he's making the donation on behalf of his grandchildren. Benedict, the retired owner of Benedict Advertising and Marketing, purchased the print several decades ago, and now, happily for Volusia County residents and visitors, he's decided to share it with the rest of the world.
When I saw this piece of artwork, it just said Florida to me, and I love Florida. It just, everything about Florida, this picture, I think, represents. And I wanted to donate it to the Marine Science Center because it's the perfect home for it.
It shows that my grandfather cares, and it's a great piece of art, so it's cool that other people will be able to enjoy it. We've been seeing it for as long as I've been alive in their house, and it's a nice piece of artwork.
Mr. Warhol was a great activist for the environment, and to think that Mr. Benedict saw this piece of artwork and it had this, it attracted him, and then 30 years later he thought of the Marine Science Center and the great times that his grandchildren had at the Marine Science Center, and we just think the story is awesome, and we're extremely appreciative of Mr. Benedict's support of the Marine Science Center and all the things we do at the Marine Science Center to help turtles and seabirds and Volusia County's habitats. We're very excited and very thankful.
The staff of Marine Science Center treated the Benedict family to a tour of the facilities, where they provide treatment and rehabilitation for injured and sick seabirds and sea turtles. Andy Warhol created 250 signed prints of Turtle 360A to coincide with the 1985 release of the film Turtle Diary. The image is based on a photograph, which was then screen printed and illustrated with lovely shades of blue, purple, green, and orange. And now you can see it every time you visit the Marine Science Center. The center is open from noon to 4 p.m. Sunday and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Admission is $7 for seniors, $8 for adults, and $5 for children ages 3 to 12. There's no charge for children ages 2 and under. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Pat Kewen.
The Athens Theater is a historic theater here in DeLand. It was originally opened as a vaudeville theater and opened in January of 1922. When Henry DeLand came in, he wanted this area to be known as the Athens of Florida and be a cultural hub. They actually named it the Athens Theater as a tip of the Stetson hat to Henry DeLand. When the theater was a vaudeville theater house, we had people like Sally Strand and Mae West. There was Will Rogers performed here, and there are rumors that actually a very young Elvis before he became famous. We also originally showed silent movies here, and now it is a fully functional theater. We have fully staged productions, and it also, at one point before this, it was actually a dinner theater. So it's had many different lives since it was originally opened in 1922.
We love Volusia County, and the ways to get involved and help keep Volusia beautiful are endless. Many of the things each of us can do are apparent, such as cleaning up litter when we see it. But some are not so apparent, and the effects of not knowing can lead to devastating consequences on our environment. Dave Hunt has the story.
Every day we make decisions, positive and negative, that impact our lives and the environment around us. Have you ever considered where litter, fertilizer, or grass clippings go once they enter a storm drain and the impacts can have on our environment? Many people will never think about it, so we decided to tag along for a storm drain marking event, and what we learned left a lot for consideration.
So as you see, we're here in the Hiles lot, and there are several storm drains located here in the swales and the little indentations. So the water from this lot is going to run into the storm drain. And this is a good example of what storm drains are designed to do. And that is collect water from these impermeable surfaces and collect it so there's no flooding. That is the purpose of storm drains. And we developed storm drains because you've seen many pictures of when it rains a lot, the water rises and rises, and then it can flood our homes, it can flood our buildings, it can flood just about anywhere. So the storm drain system is designed to capture that water and move it away from structures and move it away from people and protect us from flooding. So that's the design. When the water goes down into the storm drain, it winds up directly into the waterways. Grass clippings are filled with nitrogen. Nitrogen is a nutrient. You think nutrients are great, that's awesome. Not in the lagoon, because nitrogen makes things grow, makes things green. You might think, well, that's natural, that's great. Not in the lagoon, because what's it going to make grow out there? You got it. Fertilizer does what fertilizer does. Makes things green, makes things grow. Out in the lagoon, it's going to make the algae grow. Huge problem. So let's talk about why, again, that's nitrogen. Nitrogen, hopefully not phosphates, because you cannot use phosphates in Florida in your fertilizer because our soil already has phosphates, and if it does run off, it is a huge issue in the lagoon. So let's hope it's just nitrogen fertilizer. Let's hope they didn't do it at all. But if it is, so then the nitrogen gets out there, and it creates this algae bloom. So the algae grows and grows, because that's what algae does with fertilizer, with nitrogen, right? And then it starts covering the surface. And it does two things that are really bad. One is it chokes the oxygen out of the water. So no oxygen in the water means the fish don't have anything to breathe. If the fish don't have anything to breathe, the fish die, you get fish kills. Okay, bad. But let's say the algae continues to grow. Now it covers the whole surface of the water. Now the light can't get through the water because you've got a blanket of algae on top, right? So the seagrass that's underneath isn't getting the sunlight. So the seagrass is going to die. So you may have heard about the manatee starvation event that's going on right now because of the lack of seagrass out there. So if we back up and think about it, what goes down our storm drains, grass clippings and fertilizer, kills manatees. Crazy connection, and no one would think what they do in their yard can kill manatees, but it does. So if we think about it, what goes down the storm drain really has an effect.
Volusia County is working hard to address this critical water quality issue. Hugging the border between New Smyrna Beach and Edgewater, the Gabordi Canal captures a large quantity of stormwater runoff that eventually discharges into the Mosquito Lagoon. As we speak, a nearly $3 million stormwater treatment project is underway to improve water quality in the Mosquito Lagoon. The project will divert stormwater from the Gabordi Canal into a 2-acre treatment facility that will remove detrimental nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus. This is great news, but we still have a ways to go, and it starts with each and every one of us doing our part. Because trash and litter, they're a problem too.
Think about trash going down the drain, cigarette butts going down there. Think of the toxic chemicals in the cigarette butts. That's going to the lagoon. Plus the filters, they take forever to dissolve out there. That's going to the lagoon. Styrofoam, plastic cups, utensils, silverware, all that trash, you know, from your to-go bag that people throw out the car window, and guess where it goes? It's all winding up in the lagoon. So that's the hard, solid things that take forever to break down out there. So the idea is to inform people that what goes down the storm drain goes into the lagoon, and it harms the lagoon, it harms the wildlife in the lagoon, and they can make a real difference by not letting toxins go down the drain, not letting clippings or nitrogen or trash or anything go down the drain.
On this day, we marked over 15 storm drains with no dumping signs. A quick reminder that what enters a storm drain will eventually end up in our waterways. But for real change to take place, it's going to take all of us working together, being conscious that our individual actions can have negative impacts, or they can fundamentally create positive change. Do your part, spread the message, clean up litter when you see it, And remember, every litter bit counts. Keep Volusia beautiful.
I think it's something that we can all unite around is trash and cleaning it up. I think it will bring people together, and I'm hoping we can get more and more people involved.
I'm David Hunt with Volusia Magazine.
Every day, Florida's courageous first responders work together to keep Florida safe during all types of hazards, including wildfires near homes and communities. Florida's first responders are asking for your help to increase safety and accessibility during wildfires with 3 easy steps. Create a clean, fire-resistant space around the home. Make a family evacuation plan and evacuate early when wildfire is near. For more, visit floridaforestservice.com or wildlandfirersg.org.
As we enter the vegetable growing season, check out these tips from our UF IFAS Extension Master Gardener team on gardening in Florida. Hello, thank you for joining us for this segment of Gardening in Florida for Volusia Magazine. My name is Brittany Council Morton. I'm the Urban Horticulture Master Gardener Coordinator for the Volusia County Extension Office. Today, I'm joined by 3 of our Master Gardener volunteers, and we're going to walk you through gardening in Florida. So, Miss Julie, can you please tell us what does gardening do for you?
It gives me a chance to give back to the world. I feel like I'm doing a little bit to help out with everything. So I work here at the Agriculture Center, trying to make the landscape more beautiful for everybody to come and enjoy. We try to plan for wildlife because, you know, with the county growing more and more all the time, that's one thing I really devote a lot of time to is working here. Another thing that I really enjoy and feel like I'm making a difference in the world is working at an elementary school with the first graders, doing a vegetable garden. We teach the children how to plant seeds, how to plant plants, to fertilize, to harvest, and they also get the benefit of actually sampling the food there.
Our next question is for Charlotte Minor. As we know, Florida is a subtropical state. However, we still have guidelines on vegetable crops that can be planted at certain times. For those watching who may be unaware, what are our growing seasons here in Florida?
Well, right now we're in the cool season, which lasts until about March, sometimes into April or May, depending on the crop. And those are cauliflower, broccoli, lettuce, carrots, onions, radishes, just lots of different things, leafy vegetables. And those are, they like the cool weather and they can withstand a little bit of a frost. Come March, we will probably have our first warm season crops. And those are the tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, squashes, green beans, all of those things grow at that time. And we have a popular veggie sale coming up in February for people to buy starts to plant in their garden at home. The hot season, the summer, not very much grows. It just gets too hot.
Okra, my favorite.
But you can grow okra, Mary's favorite. Okra, field peas, a few of those things, but the tomatoes will fade out. Sometimes peppers will make it through the summer. Ours did out here, but they're not going to be very productive. We then have another warm season starting in the middle of August, September, where we plant the tomatoes, peppers, squash, eggplants again. And those are starting to fade off now because we had them, we harvested them, and the plants are dying. And then we start again with the cool season.
Mary Wright, what would you recommend for folks that want to garden with limited space?
First thing I recommend is come out here to the Agriculture Extension Agency and look around our grounds because we have every example of what you can do in a very limited space, whether it's a little space right outside your front door, or a balcony on a condo, or just a very small backyard. We recommend containers, but think big. Think if you can get as big a possible container, not a little tiny pot. Plants need room for their roots. And don't overplant. You don't want to put
45 cauliflower in one pot.
Right.
See it. So you want to make sure that you have enough space for the roots.
Okay.
And another thing too, with a container, you can always move things.
That's right.
Maybe the sunlight has changed directions.
Or there's a freeze coming.
Yes.
Now, if there's a freeze coming, you can put the container on wheels. They have these platforms you can sit your pots on and just wheel them in
to the garage.
Your living room.
So we have a lot of unique, innovative ways that homeowners can still do what they love, gardening with limited space. So I think that's kind of cool. And I want to thank you guys for joining us today as we were able to talk about gardening in Florida and different techniques and methods and identifying what's the growing season, because a lot of times folks come to Florida and they think since it's a subtropical area, you can garden all the time. We have some limitations on that, but I want to thank you guys for joining us. And our big plant fair will be Saturday, March 19th, a month away, when we'll be doing all kind of plants that we have available for the public. So stop by and see us if you have any questions.
Stay connected with the latest Volusia County news, events, and updates on our social media channels. Like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Catch up with previous stories on YouTube, or just head over to our website, volusia.org.
Well, that wraps up Volusia Magazine. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. If you have any questions about the show, feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here. Or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the news tab at the top of the screen to find us. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio program. A new radio show airs every Friday with rebroadcast Sunday and Monday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Tammy King. And remember, have a fabulous day on purpose.